Ahoy shipmates, Amy from Crazed fam. Now, Carnival is one of the largest and most affordable cruise lines in the world. Their mission to bring fun to the masses, especially families like ours. When you think Carnival, you probably picture the iconic whale tail funnel, massive water parks, thrilling slides, Guy's Burger Joint, free pizza all day, and endless soft serve. But here in Australia, things are a little bit different. Yes, you'll still have fun, heaps of it. But depending on which ship you choose, some of those iconic features might be missing. Now, I'm not here to ruin the fun. I just want to make sure that you have picked the right Carnival cruise ship for your family. So let's break down the 4 Carnival cruise ships cruising from Australia and help you pick the perfect match for you.
Cruise Crazed fam, let's sail away. Everywhere we wanna play. On the seas we roam so free.
First up, Carnival Splendor. She is the most carnival feeling ship of all 4. She's got the signature whale tail funnel, Guy's Burger Joint, waterworks with splash zones and slides, and plenty of classic Carnival fun you'll recognise. We'll dive deeper into her features shortly, but it is worth noting that even she wasn't built for Carnival. She was originally built as a coaster ship and transitioned over to the Carnival fleet midway through construction. This brings me to the Carnival Luminosa. After the pandemic, Carnival made the decision to bring another coaster ship over to the Carnival fleet. Costa Luminosa was sent into dry dock, received a shiny new Carnival name, a fresh paint job, and a few updates, but many of the core Carnival staples didn't make the cut. No waterworks, no Guy's Burgers, and some areas still feel more European than fun ship. And then things get even more interesting. In June 2024, Carnival announced that P&O Australia would officially shut down in March 2025. Their 2 main ships, Pacific Adventure and Pacific Encounter, are being rebranded into Carnival Australia. I was lucky enough to keep an eye on the wet dock transition of the Adventure and Encounter right here in Melbourne, Australia. And it quickly became clear that these ships wouldn't become typical Carnival ships either. Why? Because before they were P&O ships, they were Princess ships. Built in 2002 and operated by Princess until 2021, these vessels are the same class, same layout, and same age. So for the purpose of this video, the information I share about Carnival Adventure will also apply for Carnival Encounter. And let me tell you, while they've had a splash of Carnival branding, many of the old P&O offerings are still in place. The food, entertainment, and layout feel very different from what Carnival regulars might expect. While there is plenty of fun still to be had on these ships, there is no Guy's Burger. There is Luke's Burgers, which we will go into in more detail. And inside the ship, it feels a little bit more low-key, and I just feel like the layout of those ships just does not work like your typical Carnival ship would. I personally cruised on Pacific Adventure just before the transition, and I was invited back to check out the changes at the Carnival Adventure launch day. So I've got fresh footage and first-hand experience to share. To compare the ships fairly, I have used Carnival's official comparison tool, which lets you compare up to 3 cruise ships at a time. Since there are currently 4 ships here in Australia, I will be comparing Carnival Splendor, Carnival Luminosa, and Carnival Adventure, since they are the 3 ships I have cruised on personally, and I do have plenty of footage of, but I don't yet have any of the Encounter. But as I said, the Adventure and Encounter are exactly the same. So if it applies for the Adventure, 99% of the time it will apply for Encounter as well. But I will include a link to this comparison tool in the description below. So if you want to check it out and compare for yourself, you will be able to. All right, let's dive in and explore all the unique features of all of these cruise ships so that you can work out which cruise ship is the best fit for your next Carnival cruise. All right, so let's go in, and first we're going to select which ships we want. So you can see here you've got all of them. So straight up we've got Adventure. So let's click that one. And then we have Splendor. Let's click that one. And Luminosa. All right, so they are the 3 ships we are going to compare. Let's go compare ships. All right, so first up, if you want to check out the size difference, I'm not going to go into the details, but it tells you the gross tonnage, the guest capacity, length in feet, and onboard crew here. So if you want to go on and compare, it is all there for you. What we will skip forward to is dining. This is one of the biggest differences I feel between the ships. So we do have the chef's table on all of the ships, Lido Marketplace, which is called the Pantry on Carnival Adventure and Carnival Encounter, dining room breakfast, sea day brunch, dining room dinner, steakhouse selections, which again is a bit different on Carnival Adventure and Carnival Encounter. That is called Luke's Bar and Grill, Fahrenheit 555 on Luminosa and Splendor. So you've got the bottomless bubbles package, 24-hour room service, special diets. So they can cater to your diets if you have special dietary needs. There is kids menus, kids meals for the campers. So if the kid's going into the kids club, then there is that. You have Angelo. So this is where it becomes quite different. On Carnival Splendor and Carnival Luminosa, you've got the main dining room. So on Splendor, there is 2 dining rooms. There's a Gold Pearl restaurant and the Black Pearl restaurant. Gold Pearl restaurant is for your fixed time dining. Black Pearl restaurant is for your my time dining. On Luminosa, there is only 1 main dining room. So Carnival Adventure and Carnival Encounter have 3 main dining rooms. They each have Angelo's, Dragon Lady, and waterfront restaurants. You also have Coffee Bar, Luke's Bar and Grill that I mentioned earlier, Luke's Bar, which I believe is more of a kind of a drinks bar. That one's got me confused. Anyway, because I know you've got Luke's Bar and Grill, and I know you've got Luke's Burgers. New Zealand Natural Ice Cream. Carnival Adventure and Encounter have a deal with New Zealand ice cream. So you can get ice cream on board, but you have to purchase it for an additional cost. This was a pretty controversial one with the takeover because everyone was excited for the free soft serve that you would typically get on a Carnival ship. So Carnival Splendor and Carnival Luminosa, you have got absolutely your free soft serve ice cream that you can grab pretty much whenever you want, whereas on Carnival Encounter and Carnival Adventure, you do need to purchase ice cream from New Zealand Ice Cream. Now, there are the odd occasions where people prefer the quality ice cream and don't mind paying that additional charge for quality ice cream. And for someone like my mum who's vegan or wear dairy, then there is gelati options. So if we wanted a dairy-free or vegan ice cream, there is those options there for an additional cost. Pantry. So it is funny that they have clicked both Lido Marketplace and the Pantry when really the Lido Marketplace is the Pantry on the Carnival Adventure and Carnival Encounter. I don't know why that's in there. Some of this stuff I will say I've read over it already and I'm like, it doesn't quite make sense. So if I don't think it makes sense or fits from my experience, I will let you know. Trattoria. Trattoria is the pizza place that is on board the Carnival Adventure and Carnival Encounter. So you will see it ticked off here for Carnival Adventure, but not on the other 2. You know what? Looking at it from this table or graph, you would think that Carnival Adventure and Carnival Encounter have so many more food options than the Carnival Splendor and the Carnival Luminosa. I do not think that's the case. I think just because they've got these different food options, these different restaurants, it looks like it's a lot more. So the Trattoria is the pizza place. You can pay an additional cost and go there for dinner. Now, in saying that, like, Carnival Splendor's got so many different upcharge options for dinner. So you do have, obviously, the steakhouse, Fahrenheit 555. You've also got Masala Tiger. You have chopsticks and more. And you've got Mad Sizzle as well. So you've also got those in addition to the Lido and the main dining room. Now, the food options are different between those three restaurants that I mentioned on the Encounter and Adventure. So Dragon Lady is Asian cuisine. Angelo's is Italian cuisine. Personally, that's my least favorite. I know there's other people who love it, but I can't have dairy, as I mentioned earlier, and it's very, very cheese heavy being Italian. So there wasn't much options on the menu for me. I've only eaten there, I think, twice, and the food I had, I wasn't stoked with. So I love Dragon Lady. Angelo's is a bit of a for me, but other people love it. So that's just my experience. And then Waterfront, which is more kind of your Aussie cuisine. So there is heaps to eat on board any of these ships. All right, so now let's go down to activities. All right, let's open that up. So they all have the atrium, obviously, games, bingo, onboard internet, military appreciation gathering, which is a big thing that Carnival likes to do to show appreciation to those who have served their country. So military, but here in Australia, I don't know if they do it over there as well. They also open up to service members like paramedics and doctors and nurses and police and stuff like that. And pickleball. Pickleball seems... I actually haven't played pickleball, so apparently it's on Splendor. I don't know. I haven't played it before. I don't know. It's on Splendor and Adventure, which means it's probably on Encounter as well. I will also add that not included on this list is mini golf. Carnival Splendor has a good size mini golf course, even with a allocated spot for some beanbag toss. There is a tiny little mini golf course on Carnival Luminosa that it barely counts, but the Carnival Adventure and the Carnival Encounter do not have that. All right, bars. Now, I think this title itself is a little bit misleading because there are so many bars on all of these ships, but it says it's got the casino bar, Cheers package, which is the drinks package. I'm not going to go into detail on that one in this video because there's already so much information to go through, but there's plenty of videos out there, and hopefully in the future I'll probably do a bit of a Cheers package kind of video. I did go into it a bit in my ship reviews though, so if you want to have a look at those, like Carnival Splendor review and Carnival Luminosa review. And Cruise the Vineyard. So there's a new wine package that has been released where you can buy like 5 bottles of wine in a package. So if you're a wine lover, that's a good option. Okay, casino, again, not much to cover off. There is roulette, Carnival Players Club. Let's go to entertainment. All right, so again, there is ample entertainment on all of these ships. So you got your dive-in movies, playlist productions, Punchliner Comedy Club, stage shows, piano bar, karaoke, live music, nightclub. The only thing that's a bit different on this is the Blanc de Blanc. So the Blanc de Blanc was a P&O thing that Carnival have now kept on the Carnival Adventure and Carnival Encounter. So I think it's $30 to go to that, or there's a VIP option where you can get a bottle, and VIP seats where it's a bit more. I think it's about $75. I could be wrong. I'll try to mark it in here. It's an adults only kind of cabaret show, so burlesque style. It's a bit kinky, a bit naughty, so you have to have a bit of an open mind if you're going to go see that. I got a taste of it at the launch, and look, I found it quite entertaining. It was a bit different. You've got to have an open mind, but some people love it, some people hate it. It's just, again, a matter of opinion. All right, events, again, they have kept this super vague on the website. So they've only included Sail Away Party and the holidays on board. So Sail Away Party, everyone knows what a Sail Away Party is. As you leave, there is big party up on the Lido deck. Everyone wants to get involved. It is so much fun. Grab a drink, have a dance, and just celebrate that feeling when you are on the ship and you just know that you are sailing away from everything. And for the next, 3 days to 2 weeks, however long your cruise is, you know that you don't have to worry about cooking, cleaning, work, responsibility. Everything's going. So that sail away feeling is the most epic experience or feeling that you will get. It's just always my favorite moment of getting on the ship and just knowing all the responsibilities back home are gone. So holidays abroad, that's like we did a Halloween cruise. We've done a New Year's cruise. There's Christmas. They celebrate everything. They do Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day. Plenty of things to celebrate on board. All right, now kids and teens. So they do all have kids clubs, which is called Camp Ocean with Carnival. And they all have similar offerings now that they're all run the same throughout. Pretty much everything is exactly the same on here. So you've got arts and crafts, Seuss at Sea. If you've got kids, make sure you take them to that. It is so much fun. The kids love the Dr. Seuss stuff. So there is your Seuss at Sea, you've got your Seussapalooza story time, which is even a lot of fun for the adults. You got Build-A-Bear workshop at sea, which is an additional cost. There is Camp Ocean that we talked about, which is your kids clubs. Circle C is your 12 to 14s. Club O2, no. Yes. Club O2 is 15 to 17. And then you've got night hours, which is where you can pay an additional cost for your children from age 2 till 11 to stay some extra hours at the kids club if you want to go do some adult activities on board. Zumbini, I honestly don't know what that is. I don't know if it's like Zumba, but like for kids, I don't know. I have to look that one up. That one I'll have to look up. Big fun for infants and toddlers. So you can't cruise with a baby until they're 6 months old. So know that first of all. If your baby's going to be less than 6 months old, you can't cruise. Once you, well, not with a kid at least, but so 6 months to 2 years, they can go into the kids club certain times and either pay $8 an hour, I believe it is, to be babysat, or you can go in and play with the children yourself for a couple of hours in the Camp Ocean facilities. See the World and Space Cruises, I think that's just an activity they do in the kids club. Again, I'll have to look into that one a bit more. The only difference in this whole thing is that Carnival Adventure says coming soon on the space cruises and video arcade. So there is a video arcade or games arcade on all of these ships. It is an additional cost. I have seen the Carnival Adventure, so I'm assuming they've got it on Carnival Encounter now as well. Actually, I know they do because Deb and Matt mentioned in their video that they did. You can actually go on and load some credits, and so you get tokens that the kids can use. I think this is great. It's a great way for us to kind of monitor our kids' usage so we can buy them the tokens. There you go. That's your budget. That's what you can spend for the entire cruise. Go for it. And then I don't need to worry about them just spending and it all being charged to the card. And then I'll look back and they've spent $150 because trust me, it's happened before. Okay. Now, again, this is where things get a bit different. Outdoor. So now they do all have an adults only area. Now on Splendor and Luminosa, this is called Serenity. And on Carnival Adventure and Carnival Encounter, it's called the Oasis. But they do have it down as Serenity Adults Only Cruise Retreat on here. They do have pools, and the funny thing is the newer ships, the Adventure and the Encounter, newer to Carnival, but the ships themselves actually aren't newer. So they've got an undercover family pool, there's the main pool, there's the pool at the back for the adults. I want to say there's 4, whereas, Carnival Splendor and Carnival Luminosa just have your main pool, and then they've got the adults only pool. Now, Byron Beach Club is a P&O thing that has now been brought over, or kept, shall we say, for Carnival Encounter and Carnival Adventure. So it's not adults only, but it is exclusively for those staying in a Byron Beach suite. So unless you are staying in a Byron Beach suite, you cannot use this area. You know what? That's the pool. That's the fourth pool. There is a pool in there, but it is exclusively for those suites. There is lots of pods, comfy chairing, even some cabanas that people can book. So you do have to pay an additional cost for that as well. And that's a even more exclusive area within the exclusive area that you can kind of hide out and have your own little space. I have had the pleasure of checking it out. It's a really expansive area. It's really, really quite big, and I think most of it won't get used because there's not that many suites compared to how many beds and lounges and stuff there is in this area. But it is a really beautiful area. So if you're wanting to get away from all the craziness of the main pool deck, that is a great option if you're in a Byron Beach suite. Carnival Adventure and Carnival Encounter have the Edge Adventure Park. There is things like a flying fox, there is a rock climbing wall, you can walk the plank, there's a beam walk, you can even do a walk where you go on top of the bridge of the ship and look out, and a Titanic experience. I've got a full video on that, so I'll pop that link in the description. So if you want to go and find out more about that, check out that video. Now, it's funny because again, here, Oasis is mentioned. So Oasis is the equivalent to the Serenity area. So it's ticked off as Serenity, but it's also ticked off as Oasis as well. So again, that's where it's a bit misleading and it looks like the ship probably has more than what it actually does. Personally, I probably prefer the openness of the Serenity area on the Carnival ships than the old P&O ships. Just because of the way the nightclub is, it kind of shades that whole area. It's a beautiful area and it beautifully frames the back, but yeah, Carnival Splendor, Carnival Luminosa, very open areas. All right, now for shops. Now all of this, it says, is exactly the same. So they all have Pixels, which is your photo shop. Dream Studio, where you can pay kind of a premium, to be totally honest, for studio photos. So we have done this with our family, got some beautiful family portraits. It is quite pricey, but then again, so are portrait photos on land. Accessories, cruise clothes shop, fine jewelry, liquor, which I will mention that liquor is only available on international cruises. So if you're doing a short 3-day cruise to nowhere, or if you're doing a cruise to say like Moreton Island or one that doesn't go international, then you will not be able to purchase liquor. What you will find on some like Great Barrier Reef cruises, like what we've done, they'll do a sail by stop at Willis Island. That technically puts it into an international cruise, which means that even though you still don't need a passport because you're not actually getting off the ship, they can open up the liquor shop for purchases for duty-free shopping because it is going into international waters. And watches and beauty. So all of that is available on board. Spa and fitness. So again, this is one that is pretty similar. The spa across all of the ships is run by the same company. They hire all the staff and they run the spa. So they all have a gym with classes, with seminars, and they all have, your nail, hair, skin, massage, all of that. All of that is available on all of the ships for an additional cost. Gym is free, seminars are free, and I think some of the classes might be free, but all of the other treatments are an additional cost. Now, you also have a jogging track on all of these ships. I'm trying to think if I saw an actual jogging track on Adventure. I don't think I saw an actual jogging track. There is the promenade deck that wraps around the whole ship. that you can walk, and a lot of people will like to do that as their exercise. Keep in mind there is stairs at the front of the ship. It goes up and comes around and then it goes back down. I'm trying to think if there was a running track up near the gym. I will look into that and I'll let you know. And then, as I mentioned, you've got massage, facial treatments, hair and beauty salon, men's services, and Z-Spa. I don't know what Z-Spa is. All right, so that pretty much wraps up the comparison from the online portal here. So truthfully, I don't think it really shows how different they are. It also has on the Adventure and Encounter, you've got your water slides like you do on Carnival. They are a bit different. They're a twin racer water slide. Now, it's called Carnival Speedway, but they're not your fastest water slides. Whereas on Carnival Splendor, you've got your standard water slide, which is your twister water slide. That's just a normal one, kind of like the other ones. But then you've also got the Green Lightning. Green Lightning's one of those ones where you walk in there, floor drops out from underneath you, and you go shooting out. And then you end up spinning out the bowl and then come out. On Carnival, there is also the Waterworks, which is your big water park. There's actually two of those. And that's what kind of makes this our favourite ship, because both of our kids can play in those together and have a lot of fun. There is some little toddler water slides included in that. So if you've got a littler one, now I will mention they must be potty trained to use it, but there are a couple of little slides, so if they're not quite ready for those big slides, there is not a nice, fun slide that they can use there too. I will mention, this is the thing about Carnival Luminosa that just kind of drives me nuts. Now, this is being filmed, Saturday, 14th of June, 2025. It is going into dry dock later this year, so I'm hoping this changes. But as of today, there is nothing up on deck. I have to say, when I was on the Luminosa and I went up on the top deck, I was like, what even is this? Like, it's like blue. It's just blue decking. There's nothing there. There is so much wasted space that could be utilized. I would love to see some water slides and water parks on that ship, especially since that ship is sailing out of Brisbane over the summer. Think about the hot tropical climate up there. You want the water activities. So there is the main pool for the kids, but that's it. So that is one thing I would love to see changed. So what I would say, if you are looking for a cruise with your family, I would say if you've got younger kids, Splendor is definitely the ship for you. If you have teenage kids who want the adventure, thrill-seeking stuff, then Adventure and Encounter would be great. They can do the Twin Racer water slides together. They can do all the Edge Adventure Park activities. Now, if you're wanting less kids, then maybe Luminosa is a one for you, because there is less options there for the kids. So generally that also means that there is less kids on that ship. Now, the food options, as I mentioned, they are very different. So on Adventure and Encounter, things you need to know that not looking at that table I gave you, Luke's Burger is an additional cost. And from what I had, I still prefer Guy's Burger, and even my husband did too.
It's okay.
Compare it to a Guy's Burger.
Guy's Burger.
Guy's Burger.
Guy's Burger.
Sorry, Luke. Pizza. Now, since Carnival took over, there is pizza available on the Carnival Adventure and Carnival Encounter from 11 till 4 for free, but it's down from the trattoria. So you can't get it from the pizza shop that's up on the Lido deck. You have to go down there to get your pizza. So if you're wanting a late night bite, you will have to purchase it. There is no late night buffet on these two ships, unlike what we have had on the Carnival Splendor. Pretty sure Carnival Luminosa has it as well. I haven't done that. But you will have to either buy a Luke's Burger or buy a pizza. And we purchased a pizza for $17 on, it was Pacific Adventure then. We waited a half hour for it, and honestly, to me, it tasted exactly the same as the Carnival ones, but maybe a little bit more toppings. I wasn't stoked. I'd rather get free pizza. I mean, look, who doesn't want free pizza? But you have to be aware of these things when you're picking the ship, because if you go on there and expect free burgers, free pizza, free ice cream, you will be disappointed. But if you go on there knowing what to expect, then you won't be disappointed. The overall experience is still amazing. They are just very different ships. Now, this is just my personal preference. I prefer Guy's Burger to Luke's Burger. I'm sure there are people who disagree with me. I would rather not pay for my pizza and get a little less toppings, but I'm sure there's plenty of people who love the pizza on the Carnival Adventure and Carnival Encounter. So this is just my experience. Now, what I am hoping is going to happen in time is as these ships start to go into dry dock, I'm hoping to see a little bit more of the Fun Ship 2.0. Carnival Luminosa does not have Guy's Burger either, but it does have a burger place. Now, again, it's not the same as Guy's Burger. Now, what Carnival Splendor does not have Carnival Splendor doesn't have it, but none of the ships have it. That all of the Carnival ships over in the US, or all the original Carnival ships, shall we say, were built with is the Blue Iguana Cantina. So that is your Mexican food. And Luminosa does have tacos and burritos, and it is pretty much exactly the same. It's just not called the Blue Iguana Cantina. So I love a breakfast burrito. Absolutely love a breakfast burrito. I love tacos. I love burritos. I love all those options. So you do have that on Luminosa, where you don't have that on the other ones. Luminosa, you've also got your barbecue. Now, the Adventure and Encounter has, it's called Fat Cow, which is basically roast, but it's not barbecue. Like the old-fashioned barbecue is more kind of based on your Texas barbecue type food. So the food options are extremely different. So again, this is just one thing I think you need to know before you choose your ship so that you're not disappointed. The breakfast offerings are quite different as well. On the Adventure and Encounter, you will find that at the main dining room, which is generally the waterfront, you will need to pay for Eggs Benedict. This is a big controversy. There's a lot of people upset by this. Whereas on Carnival Splendor and Carnival Luminosa, even at the buffet, you'll find that for free. It's all included. So these are things that I am hoping that in time, as they go into dry dock, it all falls in a line. I am hoping that the Luminosa will eventually get water slides and water parks. And if it doesn't, I hope they send us a different ship, because to me, that's like, it makes sense for when they go to Alaska, but when they come to Brisbane, so they're in Alaska from April to October, and then they are in Brisbane from October till April. But it doesn't make sense for us to have a ship here that doesn't have the water slides and the water parks, especially over summer out of Brisbane. I am hoping that in time, I know we won't see the whale tail. I've given up on that one. But I am hoping that the Adventure and Encounter will eventually adopt a little bit more of the Fun Ship 2.0. I would like to see a Red Frog pub. So the Red Frog pub is only on Splendor. They do have the Adventure Hotel and Encounter Hotel, which is probably the most similar, but the vibe's completely different, if you ask me. So I would like to see the Guy's Burgers come over, to be totally honest. Sorry, Luke, but I wasn't blown away, and especially having to pay additional for it, whereas I find now the prices are pretty much on par between the Adventure and Encounter. Since there's so many more additional costs on Adventure Encounter, I would expect them to be cheaper. But yeah, I would like to see things a bit more streamlined across all four of the ships. I would like to see the blue painted onto the front of the Adventure and Encounter when they go into dry dock. I would like to see some water parks put on there. And I would like to see some Guy's Burgers come on. I'd like to see free soft serve. And I'd like to see the pizza offerings open up and even have the late night buffet. They're just some of the things we love about Carnival that we are hoping to see fleet-wide in Australia. All right, so that wraps it up. I apologize if it was a little bit all over the place. I have tried to give as much information as possible. I've probably confused you a little bit. So if you do have any questions, please pop it in the comments, or even if you have been or if you're looking at going on any of these cruises, pop it in the comments section below. I will get back to you. Thank you for watching. Please consider hitting that subscribe button, and I will catch you in the next one.
Like and subscribe.